Every time I tell myself follow me when the sky starts to change. Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again.
Feels like the days are getting
wreck your memories and set you up to take the fall. And in your mind, the clouds have been gathering. You may feel hopeless, but I'll never let you go. Fly through the stratosphere and then I'll rip and screaming from your soul.
Is inside of your head as we go through the wrestling events of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all your nerds out there. So grab your steel chair, yell for the table, and get put through an experience unlike any other. Brought to you, of course, by AniMa W3 Studio. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Happy Monday to everyone out there. We had one final Raw in the land down under as the WWE ends their stint in Australia, and what a strong Raw we had to kind of finish off the weekend. Like, I mean, SmackDown was fine and all that, and Crown Jewel definitely was really good. Raw also really good. We had a twist that nobody saw coming, and if you want to believe some reports and all that, kind of came out of left field and just came a lot earlier than what it was supposed to be like last year, apparently. But we'll dive into all of that when we talk about the show. Chat, hopefully you're doing a good job out there. Hopefully you finished your jobs today and just come home, relax, listen to the Weebs of the Ring and all that. But if you're listening to us on Tuesday morning, that's also fine too. It's just hopefully your Tuesdays go well, because spoiler alert, Tuesdays suck. But if you're new around these parts and you're wondering just who the Weebs of the Ring are, well, quick little introductions for all of you lovely people out there. First of all, I am your reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Watkins here. I'm going to be your guide through this wrestling event that we had tonight. And of course, there are two lovely gentlemen with me tonight. First and foremost, he's been gone for a while. The Rock had to take him for a little bit, but he threw him back to us because he's just like, all right, I'm done with them, done making these stories and all that. Plus, he's a Bill Goldberg stan, so I don't really want to associate myself with him. So you guys can have this visionary back. Luckily, he's also a revolutionary. He's here to not only revolutionize the anime industry, but the manga industry, the superhero industry, the comic book industry, all those nerdy industries, including the professional wrestling scam. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Legend D Vash. Vash, how you doing tonight?
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It's your boy, the legendary human typhoon, Legend D Vash, and I'm here to tell you the vision of tonight's show. And it's great to be back. Our host Waka's almost just put me on a down rail saying Goldberg, but he just kept going up after that. I'm like, I'm feeling this. I like the comic book stuff and everything. As people see the background, if you saw me at Nerd Comic Con or if you passed by me, you didn't know who I was. Hopefully, you get to know who I am now. We're here from the Weebs of the Ring, AniMa W3 Studio. Is very excited to be here talking about Raw. I wasn't here for last week and this past weekend for Crown Jewel, so I did see Crown Jewel today. And I saw Raw back to back, so it was a cool experience to see that. Also, a big shout out to the Dudley boys. They have retired officially as well, so I want to give a shout out to them that they have hanged their boots and have given it to the Hardys. So that's a great send off. Many people felt the emotions. Many people felt the hearts swing back left and right on that. So it was great to be here as well. Crown Jewel, hopefully, guys, go check out the coverage that the guys did for SmackDown and for Crown Jewel. They went up here for 8 in the morning, but they did the coverage at 8 p.m. EST. Like you guys are watching our show, maybe down there in Australia, you guys checking out coverage. We appreciate for anybody around the world. Always comment below where you're watching us from. We'd love to interact with you guys. Follow us on our social media as well. Always are down. The links are down below. We appreciate all the love and the feedback, and thank you very much.
Oh yeah, great to hear from you, Vash. You've been heavily missed, on the show. It's always good to have you around, especially for your point of view, with your knowledge of wrestling compared to like mine and drops and all that. It's always good to kind of bounce off for you and all that.
Plus, it's just nice to sit down for 4 days, just walking around the show floor, the exhibition, the place, checking the artist alley. For those that don't know, New York Comic Con was this past weekend here in New York. I was there. I have some pictures of Zilla and everything. I couldn't get the chance to go to the House of Glory, but I am making my mission moving forward that any New York City or maybe New Jersey type of shows or wrestling related, I will be doing my best to attend, travel to, do some vlogs, do some short form content. So it'll be very exciting. I couldn't take a picture of Karrion Kross, but hey, we might have an interview in the future with it. I've spoken to him and his agent, so that was pretty exciting to get the opportunity. So that's why I have a little picture off the side. I let them know that, hey, I'm gonna just take a quick picture on the side. You know, it's nothing too crazy. So it was really dope to just see Karrion Kross so close, since I was a fan of before he got released and everything. And I did chat with him because he did have a Venom shirt. And I told him, yo, you know, Spider-Man is awesome. All those little small things. Great conversation. It's great to have the wrestlers in person interaction, and you know, instead of paying $1,000, $4,000 for the company to be, you could just pay, give $50, $100 just to meet them instead. You know, sometimes it's a win-lose. Sometimes if they get released, it's easier to see them and cheaper to see them. Or if they're still attached to said company, big company, is harder. Or if you're in AW and you got to be, you know, fight at the host and your Comic-Con at the DC panel as well, you know, Darby Allin would be crazy, right?
See, you went. Oh, by the way, well, no, I'll ask this later when and everybody in the chat, if you want to hear more about Vash's time at New York Comic Con, be sure to check out the Anime Lately podcast this week, because it's going to be all about New York Comic Con. I'm going to be living vicariously through Vash and our two other guests on that show. So stay tuned for Wednesday morning, I think.
Wednesday release at 10 a.m. But we will be live on twitch.tv/AniMa Studio, because we will have a conversation about it tomorrow evening on Tuesday. So go check that out. And we'll be having the YouTube VOD version out on the main channel for episode 197. And we will also have the voice actor of Denji, Ryan, at the end of the month. So go check that out for episode 199. It was originally 200, but life changes, life happens. So go check that out.
Yeah, it's all good. So, yeah, again, if you want to hear more about his time at New York Comic Con, check it out later on. All those links are in the description down below. But of course, our other co-host here, he is known around these parts as the genius of the mat. He's going to help us process some of these stories going forward, especially one story that is probably the biggest talking piece from this Monday Night Raw. We're going to have to kind of break it down to see why, when, how, and where is Gamora. But ladies and gentlemen, it is Drop This Box. Drop, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Had a good day. Unfortunately, I wanted to wake up super early to watch this because I actually have a little story behind this. I had to put some food in the crock pot earlier this morning, so we ate at a decent time today and everything. So I thought, you know, since I have to get up for that, I might as well watch Raw. The only thing I didn't really see was the main event until a little bit later, so I was able to catch that, because as soon as it started, I just passed out, and then I woke up when CM Punk was just celebrating. So, but the main talking point, like you said, is what happened afterwards, which obviously is going to be a really big discussion, because believe it or not, you know, there's people that really fuck with it, and then there's some people out there that kind of feel indifferent about it, which I can understand from a degree. I'm not a part of that party, I will say that, but I can definitely understand why people feel a certain way when certain triggers are pulled. But to me, it, like I joked around with you earlier, it definitely feels like that C rating definitely got to Triple H, and he definitely wanted to do the best that he possibly could to improve the shows. Because when me and you were talking about the change that we've been noticing since Friday, which is one of the things that I teased on the Discord, it's like, okay, we got that change going on, because to me, it's starting to show us that, yeah, they're really trying to push the needle a little bit more. They're actually trying to take a risk. I can consider what we got towards the end of the show a risk, because some people will say maybe you should wait a little bit longer with that, but maybe there's a bigger picture here. We don't know. That's why we're here to talk about it. But one thing I will say, and I'm going to keep on saying, you know, whenever it happens, I am happy a lot of these superstars are getting their old OG theme songs back, because Kairi Sane got her OG NXT theme song back, and I'm really liking that. I'm hoping that's signaling to us, like a little Batman symbol in the air, that Def Rebel is on their way out.
Please,
please.
You know, I
saw that.
I
love it.
I'm not often
Great
a
people.
religious man and all
Great
that.
people
I'm
so
not
far.
often one that will, you know, do that on a stream or during my content, but thank God, thank you, Lord above, thank you, Lord Jesus Christ above, for getting rid of some of this Def Rebel nonsense
Yeah,
hoo-ha
3
and
people.
keep going. Yep, 3 people so far.
Yeah, well,
You got some
Kairi,
more to do.
that threw
Yeah.
me off when I heard Kairi's song was different during the show. I'm like, wait a minute, this sounds a bit different, which is honestly great. Like, we spoke about this coverage almost a good 6 months ago, I believe, about the Def Rebel going out, maybe 6, 8 months ago, maybe early as this year. But to finally see it happen, that their songs are being changed, like Drop said, I wasn't here about the seed rating, being discussed, but this seemed like Triple H finally got to it. The memes are there as well. When ESPN was writing the review, I believe somebody quote retweeted like, "I bet you Triple H just is just waiting on the plane to find out what's the score," and then to actually see the person quote retweeted saying like, "Yeah, I just put up the review. Go check it out." And to see from the B, like seeing how WrestlePalooza will see, and to this event to be like, do I agree with the score? I'll say B plus, but still very solid POE, like very solid for what it was. I'm excited.
Yeah. So I mean, we might be bouncing back and forth between like some of these vision segments that we had tonight. So, stay with us, chat with all that, but like the main talking point, the main discussion point for Monday Night Raw is the fact that the Vision did betray Seth Rollins, and it was just kind of funny, especially with how the show was kind of set up, because like we had Seth start the show and we were kind of doing that whole thing that we've been doing for weeks on end, where it's just like, okay, if the Vision starts the show, guess what they're doing? They're hyping each other up. All right, they're just gonna keep tugging at each other until one of them goes, yeah, or just kind of twitches a little bit and all that. So yeah, cool, whatever, fine. But Seth is like on cloud 9 right now. He's beaten Cody Rhodes. He's basically solidified himself at the top and all that, calling himself the best in the world as well. So, the fact that he's going to be facing off against CM Punk in the future, there you go. There's going to be a best in the world contest right there. But from going from there to like another backstage segment of Seth bigging up Bronson Reed after beating up Jimmy Uso and then like destroying Jimmy Uso after that match, like going from all of that to the end of the night where they beat up the 3 contenders and then and Triple H did that thing too, where he starts the end credits and then the
Yes, it
turn
did.
happens. I was so happy with that. Now, I'm kind of kicking myself because I did get spoiled that they did turn on him because I got to work during like the last hour of Raw. So I had to do some work things and all that. And as soon as I brought up Twitter, I was just like, okay, I'm not going to look. I'm just going to have it up. So that way, when my notes are ready and I have to write them and all that, it'll be right there. Literally the first thing that's on there. Oh, yeah, Vision, turn on Rollins. And I'm like, motherfucker. Okay, fine. All right, how did we get here and all that? But the way we got there and like the journey getting there was fine. Now, I do get a lot of people like having their qualms with this happening. Now, a couple things came out too throughout the day. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Apparently Seth might have a shoulder injury, which led to this turn happening way sooner than it was supposed to. Because like a lot of reports coming out are saying, oh, this turn was supposed to happen next year and all that. And there were again the reports of Seth having a shoulder injury, and a lot of people are speculating it was from that coast to coast flying headbutt he did on Cody, because he kind of fell on
Yeah, I
that
see it.
wrong.
Yeah, like when he landed, he kind of went a bit to the edge of that, and
Yeah.
I did see it because I was watching with wifey, by the way. And a big shout out to wifey. She enjoyed Crown Jewel a lot. She saw the difference. She saw the pops and everything. So I want a big shout out to just having a casual watcher with, and just to see the experience through their eyes. But
Yeah.
I do agree the coast to coast could have been a, not say like a fatality, but could have been a injury for the next couple of weeks. But I'm curious to see on this change of direction where they're going now with when they pull the trigger early, because myself, you, Drop, we all expected this maybe happening by next year, like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, or maybe dragging it a bit. But depending this soon, it's just where now.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I think that's the crux of it, is why now. And Yeah, I think that's mainly just the thing. It's just like, why now? Because as we saw on Saturday, it's like, oh, if Seth wins, we'll be fine. We'll still follow him and all that. We'll still be a happy-go-lucky crew and all that. But if he doesn't win, then we'll have to execute Plan B. And I mean, Plan B was already executed. Only this time, I so by looking at everybody's like facial expressions and their body language throughout this ending segment, Paul Heyman had nothing to do with this, or at least he's coming across thinking, oh, he had nothing to do with this. But he immediately jumped with Braun Breaker when he was just like, yeah, come with us, raise our hands and all that. And good on Bronson Reed too to kind of like join Braun Breaker and all this. Cause yeah, there's this usurping Seth Rollins here, which was bound to happen regardless. But like it's kind of an interesting little story element because like when you look at both guys, like Braun Breaker, pretty much unpredictable. Like they call him an unpredictable badass for one. But with Bronson Reed too, I mean, he is somebody who when he came up to the main roster, he was kind of like a gun for hire kind of thing, like a
Yeah.
mercenary. So it's like, okay, you already have these two personalities that are pretty much in it for themselves, that are willing to do anything it takes and step on anybody to get what they want. Seth kind of was playing with fire with that. So he got burned. Oh my God, literally, he burned himself down. He burned
Wow.
himself
Yeah.
down because of all this. Yeah, so I mean, whatever happens here moving forward, uh, I'm intrigued at least. Like I'm at least invested, and it's giving something for us to talk about, which is something I drop, and I'm sure Vash, we've been craving something to like actually discuss and talk about when it comes to the WWE product. Because a lot of times it's just been like this boring trod through like molasses or mud or whatever, where it's just like, oh, we got to get to the next event, we got to get to the next story beat. But like with this, it was a twist enough to get people talking and discussing, whether it was good, whether it was bad. There's at least discussion happening and all that. So
Like
I'm
for
gonna bring.
example,
Yeah, go ahead.
there's a tweet right now I'm staring at
Yeah.
by said handle, John. What the fuck is going on with WWE? It feels like a whole different company at the WrestlePalooza. SmackDown was good, Crown Jewel was great, and its ending to Raw, it was fucking incredible. So it shows that even by conversation, even by the positive tweets, the positive, I'll say
Mhm.
the interaction of the pro wrestling fans are happy to see like the writing is good, the effort's good. Like even SmackDown, while I was in their Comic-Con, I believe SmackDown happened at 8 in the morning again on that Friday. But
Mhm.
while I was at the con, I saw the positive, the people talking about it on the timeline. So it shows that they're putting the effort where it counts and they know how to do the product with. Like as much as you may say the joke that hey, WE slash ESPN, they were hurt by the score of C. Yes, most likely that's true. Because at the end of the day, there are companies that want ratings. They want good ratings. No company want bad ratings. No company. And if they do, they want to be like, all right, how the fuck can we pick this up and get it back forward?
Mhm.
That's the goal. And I'm very happy about this when look, did I expect this outcome? Hell no. Even myself as a visionary, I didn't expect this shit. I didn't expect
Mhm.
for Ron Breaker to be coming out where do a spear to Seth. However, I would say that since I knew the outcome while watching Raw, I knew that it was going to lead up to it. By the way, Seth was too positive. Seth was like, yo, I love
Yeah.
you guys. You guys are amazing. I'm grateful to you guys. You guys have some great positive energy. You guys are awesome. You beat Roman, Braun, you're doing amazing, and Paul, you're amazing. Seth was too complimentary for the
Okay.
night, and that's something I like him. He's posting too much on the gratitude, too much on the gratefulness, and to me, I was questioning that, right? Like, why are we doing this? But by the end of
Mhm.
the night, how we got everything together, what I was already spoiled by, I'm like, I see. Could there be a reasoning as well? Watkins said that maybe he had the probably shoulder injury. He has to be out for a week or two with the spear, the brawn. I wonder what's the long term, but it's really interesting. Am I affected by it? Am I angry? No, I'm shocked in a good way, but I'm more invested to now what's the direction we're going, because the way Braun did it, it looked like this was his decision, and he was kind of like, all right, cool. If I'm top dog, I'm gonna make myself top dog. He grabbed the title. He also told Bronson like, yo, you joining me or what? Come on, make the right move, make the right decision. He joined him. And then Paul went to Seth like, hey, buddy, you good? And what's going on here? And Braun was like, nah, you ain't going to check up on him. You're going to raise our hands, and you're going to be behind us like you have been. He's good. He doesn't need you. So you're going to be behind us. And I like that attitude that, like, Braun became the beta to the alpha in a matter of a second, or he was already, countering that, scheming in a way.
Yeah, I mean, with Braun, I mean, he is an alpha male. Let's just throw that out there. He is the alpha, and to put an alpha underneath somebody, even though they are a fellow alpha, it's like, why you doing that? Why you doing that? I am the future. You keep telling me I'm the future, then let me be the future and all that. Like, let me be unleashed. Because, like, that's the other thing with Braun. They kept holding him back on many times, many occasions they were. But whenever Braun would execute a plan, it worked very well for the Vision and for everybody else. And I like too how when Braun Breaker did that, Bronson Reed didn't do anything. He just stood there and let it happen. He watched it happen. And I mean, I'm pretty sure he was kind of on Braun Breaker's side anyways. But as soon as Braun was just like, yeah, you're either with me or against me, he's just like, all right, fine. Let's do this. Let's do this thing. Let's be on our own. Well, on our own, just away from Seth and all. Because like even Seth said it earlier in the night, he doesn't need
Yeah,
them,
that's the other thing.
but they all chose each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's also a very important aspect to all that is, yeah, they don't need each other. They really don't. Like, even though Braun Breaker helped Bronson Reed on Saturday, I mean, yeah, Bronson probably did need the help, let's be honest, against Roman Reigns. But see, that's the other thing. It's more of Braun Breaker getting into the mind of Roman Reigns. So that way, when we get to that eventual singles match between the two, like, Braun Breaker's already kind of in there, and he's kind of already messing around a bit in there and all that. But Drop, what do you think of the turn here? Like, obviously it came out of nowhere from all of us, from everybody, really.
Yeah.
But what do you think of the turn here? And I guess, like, because I didn't get to see some of the online reactions to it and all that. So I mean, what have you seen, if you've seen anything or researched anything, and just your own thoughts about the turn here?
Yeah, so the main thing I've really been seeing from a lot of people online when it comes to the turn here, a lot of people were basically questioning, like, oh, is this too soon? Shouldn't we have waited a little bit longer for this to happen? What is the whole meaning to this? It's basically like a common thing you see online when people take things at face value without actually, taking a little bit of time to understand, like, okay, maybe this is why this is happening. Because, like you guys discussed, they typically tease things within the show itself that sort of leads you to see what happens later on, like the things that Vash discussed about Seth just complimenting too much, or Seth saying how he didn't really need them to get to where he is, which is another thing I notice as well. Because yes, you could look at it a way where it's like, yeah, they found each other that way, but to me, even wording means everything, and kind of looking at it the way that he was talking in the ring when he was cutting that promo, it kind of made it seem like, whatever they've done for him so far is meaningless because he just never really acknowledged it and just went through the other ear. So there's like always things like right in front of your face that they're showing you beforehand before things take off. But that was like the common thing I saw. It's just people would it just happened out of the blue, which is probably one of the best things because it does give us things to talk about. It makes us question, like, okay, what's the move here? Because when I looked at it at first, I'm like, okay, what's the game plan here? What's going on? Then I see these reports online about it possibly leading to Seth Rollins doing the coast to coast headbutt, which I'm gonna call it that way because that's what it looked like to me. and he ended up hurting himself because of that. Because I did actually see an image that was with the fan today. I don't exactly remember what the post was, like the source, but he was walking around with a sling, so obviously there is some credibility to that. I highly doubt someone's gonna waste their day photoshopping a picture with them and Seth, but just looking at how he was in that position, I mean, hey, I guess it makes sense. And then you have that other thing that I remember seeing over the weekend about Austin Theory potentially being a part of this whole War Games thing of everything that's going on. And I just saw a report before we started the show that. Yeah, I just saw a report from Fightful before we started the show.
I'll give you one opportunity, Vash. Guess who was it that released that little story of War Games?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yo, every time I see the tweet of him, I feel like thinking like, did you just put these thoughts out of your ass? Like, like you have any type of
sources? What are you talking about? He has sources.
Oh yeah, imaginary sources.
Yeah,
but that's pretty interesting on that drop when it comes to Grayson and everything, because that does make an importance towards War Games and everything. You know, as being the next PLE next month, right? Or is there one in between? No, I think there's a Saturday night main event.
Yeah, there's a Saturday night's main event on the 1st, and then War Games is at the end of the month.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
End of November. Yeah. And then we got another Saturday night's main event, which is Cena's final match.
Now that makes you question what the War Games match is going to be now, because the whole entire conversation that we had of each other, the way that it was mapped out, because it was, I mean, pretty simple the way that everything was being pointed out to us this year. But now that the turn happened and Braun Breaker speared Seth and all of that, obviously does not make sense in the slightest for them to work alongside each other anymore. But now we don't really know like what the War Games match is going to be, which is actually pretty interesting now. Like how things are going to be once we get to that point.
Yeah. And I mean, here's another thing to kind of throw in there too. As we had somebody go up to Paul Heyman not too long ago and be like, hey, we need to talk. Brock Lesnar, is he part of this group, or is like not like fully, like I don't see him being like a leader of a group, because that's just not really Brock's MO. No. I could see him more of like being like the trump card for the group, if you will. Like, oh, they've been beaten down so many times. Oh, let's just press the Brock card. Let's unleash the Kraken. And
he'll be the Zoomer. He'll be the Zoomer. He'll be the Zoomer.
He will be. Oh, that's great. But just imagine that's the group, though. Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, not Braun Strowman. Rehire Braun Strowman, put him in the group. No, Brock Lesnar, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed, the triple burrs, if you will. Oh my God, they're all bros.
Yeah, that's the other thing too.
Braun Breaker,
it's Paul's bros.
Brock Lesnar. Oh my God, they have to. We're the bros.
We're the bros, bro.
Nope.
Yeah, now I'm seeing something.
Up, you want some meat, bro? You want this full cow, bro?
What I am hoping for all these reports going on about Seth's current status, I'm really hoping, like, if it is legit, you know, let him get better so he's able to get back in the ring again. I'm really hoping it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, we're going to do what we did again at SummerSlam, because stuff like that can only hit once. And since you already played that card already, it kind of wouldn't really hit the same if that were to happen again. And it would kind of just make everything look awkward on television. Like, I don't know if I could really get behind, oh, we saw this happen in front of us. Oh, no, we're actually okay. We're just trying to make it seem like, you know, there's tension in our group. Like, no, I can't get behind that. I am sorry. I cannot get behind that at all. That is just very silly. But I did really like what we got here, though. Like the answer earlier, I really liked what we got here towards the end. It's just gets me really curious to see, because you look at it now, it's like, okay, you know, we'll talk about it in, you know, just a little bit about CM Punk being the #1 contender. Now that we know Seth Rollins' status and all the reports going around, if they're legitimate or not, or whatever the case may be, it's like, how is this whole #1 contendership thing going to work out now? And what's the current status of the title and everything around that. Just there's a lot of like questions that need to be answered.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions we have that just got started, like, and especially, you had mentioned CM Punk, because again, he's now the number one contender, which again, we'll get to that match here in just a minute. But it's like, what do we do then if Seth's like injury is a lot worse than it is? Because like I know one report I did see was apparently it's like, okay, if it's like he broke his arm or something, they're like, all right, that's fine. He can like rest until like December or something and do something then or whatever. So it's like, okay, there's at least something there if it's like a broken arm or something. But the report went on to say like, oh, if it's something with a shoulder though, that's gonna be worse because that's gonna be like more time off. That's gonna be more like
Yeah.
testing he needs to do, more like doctor's appointments he needs to make, like all this other stuff that goes on with that. And yeah, so it's just like hopefully it's nothing. I would very much like if it was nothing. Like that would be great. Like especially like that picture we saw with him in the sling. Hopefully that was just like a precautionary thing.
Yeah.
But I will say the way he was walking to the ring this morning, like at the beginning of the show, you could kind of tell something was a little off, like on that one side of his body, like that one shoulder right here. Like you could just
Yeah.
tell just been by the way he was walking. It's like,
Funny
okay,
you bring
something's a little off.
funny you bring that up because I actually stumbled across a video on X right now where after the
Ooh.
show he was being walked with management, like he was holding his arm real close. He was close to Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce is trying to direct everybody to make sure he's able to get there safely. I'll bookmark it so I can send it in our chat for you guys to look as well. But it's something I did notice because typically, like when you do have injuries like this, because I remember when it happened to Liv Morgan, she did the same thing where she was kind of holding the arm for a little bit, and then you obviously saw her, get carried backstage and everything like that. But
Yeah.
he's definitely like putting a lot of pressure on this arm. He's walking very slowly, almost like a penguin, just waddling a little bit. So he doesn't really have that much movement going around where he can like keep a steady
Yeah.
pace while he's walking. He's like actually taking his time, like little by little.
Oof. Yeah. I mean, again, I just hope he's fine from it
Yeah.
all. So uh yeah, I mean there's a lot of possibilities because again, like a lot of things are just up in the air until we find out more, and hopefully we do at least by Thursday, because like if we find out some more stuff by Thursday for like grappling with the week that we could talk about, maybe we can have a little bit more of an understanding of where they could go with everything. But it's just kind of up in the air right now, and I'm glad too, because like I know we're not going to get any explanation until next week.
Yeah.
But I'm pleased. I'm pleased because again, like this gives us something to talk about, something to discuss, something to really like sink our teeth into, which is something that I know me and Drop have been craving. Like we had mentioned this on countless shows just in the past couple weeks. We want more because we know you can do more. This is it, even if it is like a pivot that is unexpected, it's something and all that. And I am a firm believer of like, okay, I think that C grade from ESPN really did something to them, because I think like that's the thing. We've said it countless times. WWE's been coasting the majority of this year. There have been some good things here and there, yes, but like especially when it comes to their B shows, it's been a lot of just coasting, a lot of just, hey, we're making money anyways, fuck it. Like that's kind of the mentality they've had, which is odd when you look at when Triple H did take over and all that. And this felt to me like a Triple H move to be like, yeah, that score right there, no. From a place that we just started airing our shows on, and they're gonna ram us like that. Yeah, no. Like I feel like now the executives that are kind of like, because as much as people don't want to say it, a lot of WWE has been executive moves this past year. I mean, yeah, it's just been like that. So like this felt like a really big move on Triple H's part, at least, to be like, hey, okay, let me do a little bit more. Okay, even if we have to pivot, let me do something. Let me try something. Let me actually like create and all that, because like you can tell that it's kind of getting on him with some of this booking and all that. As much as he doesn't want to admit it, you can kind of tell when they do like these post show things. Because I don't know if you saw some of the clips, people were like singing Edge's theme and all that, and saying, "Hey, Edge needs to come back," like yelling that during these post shows as he's sitting there at the desk and all that. So again, I just hope that this was the kick in the ass that they needed.
I believe so. It was.
Yeah. Man. But, as much as we could talk about and theorize, the Vision turning on Seth and where they go from here, we've got other things to kind of talk about, mainly with the Vision or like Vision adjacent, if you will. Let's just go ahead and talk about our main event. Again, I know skipping around a little bit, but hey, that's just the nature of this week's show because it was kind of a big show when it comes to a lot of these things. So, like, our main event here was a number one contenders match between Jey Uso, LA Knight, and CM Punk. So, we had a couple segments to kind of build up to all this. First of all, we had LA Knight and CM Punk trading some blows, verbally, that is, with Jackie Redmond in the back during an interview, which LA Knight, you're still perfection when it comes to mic skills and all that. Jimmy and Jay had a bit of a spat where they're trying to focus on their own stuff and all that, but we'll get into more of that when we talk about the match Jimmy had with Bronson Reed. But the match itself, the triple threat, unfortunately, I didn't get to see much of it because that was when I was at work and I kind of had to lock in a little bit with work. So I didn't really get to see most of the match. But what I did see was pretty dang good. And I at least got to see the finish where, like, we're kind of playing upon this aspect of, like, okay, we're taking advantage of each other's moves. So like once somebody hits a really big move, toss that, just yeet that person out of the ring, do my own big move, capitalize, 1, 2, 3, I win. And that kind of happens here where LA Knight hits the BFT on CM Punk. Boom, CM Punk's down. Could be the win, could be the finish there. But nope, Jey Uso again just yeets him out, tries to go for a splash, but CM Punk is able to counter that and able to get him up for a GTS 1, 2, 3. CM Punk is now your new number one contender for Seth Rollins' title, which was something that was rumored to happen at Saturday Night's main event coming up. So that could always still be a thing. But Drop, I'm going to start with you with this one. I know you had to watch a little later on in the day for the main event, but you at least got to see and watch it. So what did you think of the match itself, the winner, where you think things might be going since like Seth's either vision less or he might be injured and might have to, I don't want to say he's going to have to drop the title, but I mean, the possibility is at least up there. Just all depends on reports and all that stuff. But again, what do you think of the main event?
So I thought the main event was really good. And like you said, I was able to watch it a little bit later in the evening. So I was fully absorbed with what's going on because, like I said, I woke up a little early today. I was trying with it and I ended up passing it out as soon as these guys came out. And then I woke up and saw Punk celebrating. But I thought the match was really good. Each of these guys were doing the best that they possibly can to take advantage of one another. They were honestly making this feel like a triple threat match. Like LA Knight said a little bit earlier when he was having that interview, he's like, okay, at least you know the rules, how things work. And triple threat matches tend to get pretty chaotic, especially when it comes to the history between these three guys right here, because you already know Jay's ongoing issue, the certain mission that he's trying to complete. You already know how LA Knight feels about Jey Uso, so that's self-explanatory. And him and CM Punk are, starting to kick things into gear now, so obviously there's some tensions there. Hopefully we can get a little one-on-one program with him in the near future when the time comes, of course. But I just really like the chemistry of all these guys in the ring. I thought they did very well, and obviously if there's an opening there, take advantage of it, because sometimes you got to play dirty to win these kind of matches. Sometimes you got to go the extra mile if you want to get that opportunity to hold like a world title in this company. So Punk was able to get Jey Uso for the GTS, win the match, and then obviously what we talked about prior, you saw the whole shebang with the Vision, which we already spoke about. So I'm happy with the winner. I don't have any issues with it. It makes sense considering that there's still things going on there with CM Punk and Seth Rollins. But like the big question in the air, like you said, what's Seth Rollins' current status? Is he going to be able to do this? Is it going to be one of those things where his former boy screws him over? and then he loses the title and he starts something with them. He ends up vacating the title because if it is indeed like a shoulder injury, because we've seen it happen before with Liv Morgan and not Liv Morgan, with Rhea Ripley that one time where she had a little injury before and she had to vacate her title, and then things had to get determined who was going to be next up for that. I mean, we thought it was going to be CM Punk and Seth Rollins, according to the rumors. Things will tend to happen because that's part of the wrestling world, and I don't know, like there's part of me, because they definitely need to sell that big angle towards the end of the show, so I don't really know for sure if Seth Rollins is going to be there next week. Doesn't really make sense if they want to sell that big angle, because it's not like it was a small angle. This is a big angle, but part of me is thinking, and do I want to see it? No, but it's definitely possible that they might have to have him vacate that title or something, and then I don't know if it's going to be like on the line and CM Punk against so and so is gonna have that title and going for that title, and then whatever they decide to have the match, if it's at Saturday night's main event, they determine the winner there. Then that's when you get everything in motion from beyond that point. So that's basically like my current stance on it, because I mean, I don't think it's another angle again with Seth Rollins. I feel like it would be a little bit too much if they decide to go down that route, and if it is legitimate and you want to make sure the title is still there being defended, or at least on television so you can physically see it, they might have to, go down a direction where they have him vacate the title. But it all really depends like how they want to structure the story and everything, because if the injury isn't as bad as it seems, he can be a background player for a little bit. He could still be on shows, but it all depends really, because yes, we looked at this main event as being like the main shebang and everything, but they definitely did get foreshadowed when it came to that angle towards the end of the night. So it's kind of like, in a way, even though he's not an afterthought because he's CM Punk, he kind of did feel like an afterthought afterwards.
He kind of did, even though they came out and beat everybody up and all that. Yeah, CM Punk becoming number one contender is kind of taking a backseat towards the Vision stuff and all that. But I'm at least glad that Punk did win, because now he gets his rematch for the
Yeah.
World Heavyweight title. It sucks that, LA Knight's not going to get his chance. And I mean, Jay kind of had to be the fall guy here, but that plays into it very well when it comes to Jay's story going forward. And again, with Punk, I mean, he's after that title. He's out for blood, basically, for Seth Rollins and the Vision. So really, it doesn't matter if the Vision's with Seth Rollins or not. I mean, Punk is going to be going after them one way or another, since it deals with the world title. Because that's the other thing. Braun Breaker took that title and was holding on to it. And dare I say, that title looks really good on Braun Breaker. Like,
It does. Kind of.
Oh yeah.
like you want to talk about a title that looks perfect on somebody. This is how I felt when like we got the new US title design back in like 2020 with Bobby Lashley. I was just like, oh, that title was made for you. You know,
Another thing I was gonna mention is the pretty funny thing I was thinking of the top of my first of all, I'm gonna share this off air because this is a I'll put this in our chat because this is a rated MMA joke that I'll put in our chat. But the thing I will say that's pretty tame here is I don't know if you guys noticed this when you watched the match. It was kind of funny how it played out, but Jey Uso's grill fell out when CM Punk was pinning him, and then CM Punk like kind of tried to pull it away as fast as he possibly could so the cameras could avoid it, so they didn't really see it on air. But like the grill fell out of his mouth when he hit that GTS on him.
that's
I didn't
funny.
catch that. That's funny.
That's really funny. Oh, I'm sorry. The girl looks stupid. I'm gonna throw that out there. I'm not a grill person. I
Me
never
neither.
was. Even when they were like very popular, I'm like, oh, that looks stupid. Why? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that, people? All right, cool. Well, thank you for your thoughts on that drop of Vash. Do you see anything differently? Does your visionary senses tingle in a different way than Drops or even my own too? Like, how did you feel about the main event of the evening, having it be CM Punk becoming the number one contender again for Seth's title? And yeah, just your thoughts overall with it.
I really enjoy this match. The triple threat, I feel like, was one of their better ones when it involves Jey Uso, CM Punk, and LA Knight. Like you said earlier, Jey Uso losing and getting pinned. It evolves the story more for the Jimmy and Roman, and Jay not able to do his own
Yeah.
thing. I love how commentary, excuse me, I love how commentary was also commentating about the fact that our
Mm.
boy LA Knight still
Yeah.
hasn't won a title, and he's still coming up short. I believe it was Wade Barrett that kept bringing that up, and kind of
Mhm.
bring up that as a good statistic. Like, hey, we haven't had him win this match. We haven't had the points, and like he hasn't got that one chance. Has he reached his ceiling? All those are good conversations because it brings to the fact of LA Knight as a person. Like, and I'm sure this will be. He'll be rewarded by next year. I'm sure he'll be giving the gold because he already has had the U.S. title and he was great with the U.S. title for those 60-ish days I remember on top of my head. But I'm glad also, if you guys think about it, for a 2.5 hour show, 1 hour of it was actually pro wrestling. That's all. That's honestly amazing.
Good.
I'm staring at the numbers at the time.
Good.
Before chat, I was shit on it. I said, like, yo, out of a 2 hour and 30-minute show, we had 35 minutes of wrestling. That's some bullshit. But no, we literally have almost exactly an hour of pro wrestling. So just seeing the match of this triple threat was a 13, almost a 14-minute match. That's very solid on the point. And that to me, I like how Jay is becoming his own. I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like he's being better in the ring, even though he's still a bit. That seems sloppy. I feel like he's off balance at times when he tries to do the spear or when he gets around. He looks like a bit days out or don't know the direction he's at. So I'm not sure if that's supposed to be his character or if that's actually him as a wrestler. So I'm really curious to know. Hopefully that kind of switches up or improves. But if that's the character that he's going for, then all for it. But the match was very solid. I was very entertained by the 30-minute match. I don't really have anything like a highlight to say. I just laughed that Wade Barrett and Michael Cole was saying that they should just finish this table. This table's already almost all destroyed for this past weekend.
Yeah.
We should just destroy this table already and just leave it here. We don't gotta bring it back to the US. I'm like,
Yeah.
in my head, I'm like, what do they do with the stuff when it comes to international? Do they just leave it in the storage because they know they're gonna come back now? So do they leave it in the storage in that country, or do they actually bring it back to the US?
Yeah, they I mean they probably bring certain parts back, like the top, but probably some of the stuff around it that is like the foundation of, or at least like the sides of the desk, because that stuff gets destroyed. Like that stuff literally breaks. It's almost like a very breakable plastic that's just easy to just snap off. So it's just like, oh great. Can't really fix that. So, we got more at home. We got more in the States. It's fine. Just make sure that top is fine. All right. Make sure, because like that's the big part. That's the big bugaboo. That's where like the weight and the hard part of the hardest part of the table is that top part. Yeah, so
That, but
that
also
yeah.
a big shout out to Chad because I get it that they won, Seth. I mean, they want CM Punk and Seth match to have the outcome of CM Punk winning. And I get it, but it's like, and they want him to turn heel. It's a good, interesting retrospect. But with CM Punk, he's just been here now for 2 years. Right now, turning him heel won't add a lot because right now we have Seth already, him dealing with his own problems. We have Bayley with a few characters, bipolar going for. And we have right now CM Punk with his wife who just came back, even though we haven't seen her since WrestlePalooza. People have been asking for when is AJD coming back. So it's really curious to know, like, what do they have the directions towards a few characters. With CM Punk, I don't see him turning a heel, chat. That's my answer to the point right now at the moment. If it happens unexpectedly, hey, it happens. But right now, I don't see it in the foreseeable future. Maybe by next year. And him winning against Seth and starting that main event. That remember, you can only watch it on Peacock, not on Netflix. Peacock for Saturday main event for a friendly
Oh,
reminder.
Yeah. Yeah. Dang it. I hate Peacock. I hate you Saturday night's main event. Why do you have to be a weird show?
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch it on
I
the
just get the friendly
television.
reminder.
Just gonna watch it on the television. I have it on the
Yeah.
television, so I'll just watch.
Yeah. With
I'm
all of
sure.
our lovely
I'm
ads.
sure they still have it on NBC because I think it just became Peacock
Yeah.
only last time I remember. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd have to go back. I'd have to go back and look at some reports and all that stuff. But yeah, uh, speaking of going back, we're gonna go back just a little bit in time in the evening to another match that also involved the Vision. As we're sticking in this Vision vortex here, Jimmy Uso took on Bronson Reed because hey, we got to get some sort of comeuppance when it comes to our screw up with making Roman Reigns lose that match and all that. So yeah, Jimmy Uso was here to take on Bronson Reed, but that's not really the main talking point here. Because I mean, the match it happened. I mean, Bronson Reed won. Kind of expected when it comes to that aspect, but it's mainly the stuff that goes and circles around this match, where Jay basically just wants to do his own thing now, and which is good because he was having a good singles run and all that, but like this whole drama between the bloodline and all that being split up, going their separate ways and all that, me and Drop really dove into it on Saturday when it came to like the Roman aspect of it. So really, I want to start with you, Vash, with it since you didn't get to join us on Saturday with it. I guess what's your thoughts on like just like I guess like Roman's part of it, where he's just like I don't want to see y'all till Christmas. $20 limit for gifts this year, not 50. You guys are being punished for that part. So it's like okay, not seeing family until holidays. All right, there's that. But like
I love that.
even now, this wrinkle with like Jay and Jimmy tonight, where and even when Jay saved Jimmy after the post match beatdown, he was like, "Yeah, you need to run your shit. Like you need to step up a little bit." So what are your thoughts, I guess, to start off with you on like this bloodline separation, if you will, between these three guys?
I really love that he could just tell his family, "Yo, I won't see you until Christmas." And I'm like, I wish I could tell my family that. Like, yeah,
Right.
I won't see you until Christmas. That's it. Don't even visit me on Thanksgiving. Christmas. That's the deadline. I wish I could do that. That'd be amazing. But me and my wife laughed during the interaction. This was a kind of a nice wake up call for Jay, but also for Jimmy. Like I was telling the guys in the Crown Jewel chat, go check out Discord community if you guys want to join. The Discord link is down below in the comment section of the description. But when it comes to Jay and Jimmy, I really like this because he says, you guys gotta understand, one thing has never changed. This is a one-way street. We have said this since early this year, since he became the tribal chief to the original tribal chief to the OTC1, which again, chat, I hate the name OTC1. Just call it tribal chief. There's no OTC. For fucking Solo is not trying to be it no more. Just stay with it. But hey, you guys got to market 3 or 4 different versions of a name. This is interesting because I feel like this is going to be an interesting turn of events for Jimmy and his growth of a character where you are stronger united than apart, but also strong as individuals than against each other. That's how I see it, because I knew when I saw this on paper, Jimmy Uso versus Bronson Reed has to win. No doubt of a doubt, he has to win. He right now cannot lose because he just pinned, being the second person to have pinned Roman Reigns in the past 4 to 5 years. That's Cody Rhodes number 1. Now Bronson Reed has the title. So for him to be number 2, he was going to beat Jimmy. He even said that to Jimmy in the ring. I beat Roman. I could definitely beat you. That's 100% the fact. But with Roman out of the picture and say, hey, I want to do my own thing without you guys, it's going to be curious now, Jay, if Jimmy gets beat up next week by the Vision, is Jay going to help out again? Is he going to let him get beat up? That's the question.
Mhm.
Because as much as that he may be your twin brother, you're not gonna let him get beat up week after week, or you're gonna let him, are you gonna change that much? Are you gonna be changed that much as a leader to be cold? Because you need, as a leader, you need to balance your choices, and some choices may be hard to make, or some choices are easy to make. And right now for Jay, it's gonna be interesting of where he goes with, are you gonna help him or not?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting with that. And I'm glad Jay at least came out to help tonight because there was a part of me that was worried that Jay wasn't going to come out there.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he did. I'm glad he helped him out. I'm glad he took the vision and told him to just yeet over that way. But again, it's his attitude afterwards where it's just like, yeah, man, you got to step up. You got to own your own shit. And it's like, I like what you put there, was just like, okay, we're strong as a unit, but we need to be really strong on our own, and I think
Yeah.
that's where like the story might be going here, more so with Jimmy, because like Jimmy's the one that really needs to step up, at least in a
Yeah,
singles capacity.
yeah.
And because that's the thing, we had the stuff with the Usos coming back to face off against Braun. They lost, fine, whatever, but they weren't really gelling to begin with anyways, because Jay had been on his own for the better part of like going on 2 years now, ever since the fallout from WrestleMania 39 and all that. So it's gonna be very interesting with Jimmy going forward and seeing if he can get that singles title, or at least get a good singles run, because once he's leveled up and they're able to kind of see eye to eye, I think those three guys, that being Roman, Jay, and Jimmy, when they come back together, it's gonna be a bigger force than it ever was. And that's just kind of what Jimmy's missing right now. He needs that taste of singles gold to know that he can do things on his own, to know that he can accomplish great things on his own. Because, yeah, not having that little experience is kind of holding not only himself back, but his family back. Now, that being said, Jay, don't be a dick to your brother like that. Like I get it, got to give him the tough love and all that, but like, come on, man. Like you just saved him from a 2-on-1 beatdown from the Bronze, and you're gonna yell at him like that? Come on, man. Just chill. Just take a seat back and all that. It's
But thing
fine.
is,
I promise you.
but then the question is, would you rather lose on your own
Mhm.
in a boss fight, knowing that you did your all, you put all your effort, and you rather lose on your own than rather use the assistance of your extra two people to come in and put the quick attack mode, or you rather lose? Like
Ugh.
right now, Roman's like the type of person that he'd rather be a solo player than a multiplayer. He'd rather be a solo person, put the Elder Ring, lose, have no type of extra things or extra items in the bag, just go in swinging and be like, yo, if I lose, I lose. If I die, I die. Like, I
Well,
feel
see,
like that's how his mindset.
that's exactly what he was trying to say on Saturday in the ring when they were like rolling it out. Because he's just like, look, everybody's saying I can't do this on my own. Like, I need to show them that I can, that I am the tribal chief, that I am the top of this food chain, that I don't need the help. Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
could use the help, but I don't need it. Yeah, go ahead, drop. You had something you were gonna say, I think.
Yeah, I was just waiting to see if you guys
Oh
had
yeah,
anything
sorry,
else.
sorry.
Okay.
I saw you leaning.
Okay.
I was just like, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
same. I was like,
yeah, I mean
Uh,
like the match itself, I mean it was pretty easy for Bronson Reed to take care of Jimmy and everything, but this is pretty much the building grounds of like where Jimmy and Jay are going to be going moving forward, because you're having Jay reflect on everything that happened over the weekend, and then you're having Jimmy thinking in his head that he's just trying to make the exact same choices that Roman did all those years ago, and that's kind of why he went out there and he wanted to do this match on his own and everything. But I definitely feel like eventually down the line, Jimmy really needs to get into that mindset, so he knows when he goes up to someone, he has a chance of beating them. Because at least with Jay, there's actually some believability there when he goes up against some people, since he has done things on his own. So you can't really count him out of anything. Because sometimes when I see Jimmy, because he hasn't really been pushed as hard as Jay, which I understand why he hasn't, but it's like I just want to be able to believe in him a little bit more when it comes to the kinds of things he says, because it's like the way that he approaches a situation, the way that he talks to people, it's very believable because he's very charismatic and he has that attitude as a tough guy. So when I look at Jimmy Uso, I do look at him as a tough guy because he just has that kind of attitude that could, really get in your face. Like I would definitely say between the two, he definitely nails it, like promo wise. Like he's very good getting into people's heads or just really getting under their skin and everything whenever he's calling them out. But I'm just very curious to see like where this is gonna go between the both of them, because I was just like you, Watkins, where when they had that little discussion in the back before the match took place, I actually thought he wasn't gonna come out at all when he was getting beaten in the middle of the ring. I literally thought Jay was just gonna do what he was gonna do, which kind of felt like he was gonna say something earlier where he was making that whole comparison about what happened to Roman, how he doesn't want to happen to him, but Jimmy caught him off guard. So I felt like, I guess it did make sense for him to come out, but I just want to know exactly like, what's the turning point here? When are these two gonna butt heads? Like, I don't necessarily see it being a feud or anything because they've already seen it already, but it's like I really want to know like what's this next step for Jimmy, what's this next step for Jay when it comes to them, because that's why I'm not necessarily upset with Jey Uso not winning the number one contenders match. He wasn't my pick for it, Punk was, but he just has more on his plate when it comes to family drama, his stuff going on with his brother and Roman and all of that, and that right now at least gives him something on the table to work with. So when you're watching the product, you can always tune in each week and seeing how that story develops, instead of like, oh yeah, I'm going after a title again. Like, I feel like that stuff going on in his family right now is a lot more important than the World Heavyweight Championship, because that's not going to be the last time Jay has that title, but he definitely needs to get that stuff sorted out, because you never know what direction he's going to head down. It can either be a good route where he's level-headed, or it could be a bad route where he's just making a lot of risky decisions that you typically don't see from him.
We'll have to we'll have to see how everything kind of plays out. I'm kind of with you there too. Like, where's the turning point going to be? Because I'd rather not have another Jay Jimmy feud.
Me either.
Considering, the match we got at WrestleMania 40, unless they actually want to maybe do one better than that, which I wouldn't be opposed to, but maybe add a stipulation this time so there's a little bit
definitely need that
of difference between the two matches, and maybe something more that we can get into with it. But we're at like the next chapter of it all, where everybody's gonna be going their separate ways and all that. But I don't know about y'all. I'm tired of the
We're at the
vision.
fifth inning.
Oh yeah.
Remember, we're at the fifth inning.
The top of the fifth inning of this game of football.
For 5 years.
Wait a minute, that's how sports ball works, right? Nah, don't worry, people. I am a sports person, so I know I know the difference between football and soccer. There's none. Anyways, so if you know, you know. We're gonna move on now to our mid card stories. I'm tired of talking about the Vision. I'd rather be blind for the rest of this show. So let's talk about the Judgment Day and all the joints that they're doing right now, because we had two matches with the Judgment Day tonight. We had one for the IC title and one that was a basic tag match that was pretty much ending a story, I guess, or at least part of a story. So let's start with this IC title match between Dirty Ass Dominic Mysterio and Penta. The match itself I thought was really good. It was a good back and forth between these two. Penta was very dominant at the beginning, but of course Dominic always will find a way to cheat to win and try to cheat to get one over and all that. And also the Australian crowd, very much a pro Dominic Mysterio crowd. I mean, I know that's kind of par for the course when it comes to a lot of these WWE crowds, but it just begs to be saying, because hey, Penta's also hella over, and the fact that Dom is getting louder cheers than Penta during a match, that's cause for at least a comment about it. But of course, again, match is really good going through it. But the real talking point here is the end of the match, I think, because Rusev just comes out. Why does Rusev come out? Well, he had a little bit of a confrontation with Penta before the match, saying, hey, talk to Adam Pearce. I've got next in line. So if you win, we can run this back, especially after you kicked me last week. But if Dom wins, I get my hands on him. Thank you, Dom, for a new meme template, by the way, this week. So thank you for all that. But yeah, Rusev just comes out to the ring after a certain point of the match. I'm like, I'll get to my thoughts of that later on. But he comes out to the match, gets taken out by Penta, and then Dom takes advantage of this. He grabs not only the title belt, but the hammer that they use for the time bell. And so basically distracted the ref by having the title in there. And he uses the hammer on Penta's knee. Penta's now set up for the 619. It's get hit. One frog splash. 1, 2, 3. Dominic Mysterio retains his IC title. He's going to have to face Rusev in the future. And then later on, he had another thing with good old AJ Styles and Adam Pierce in the back. But of course, we're going to start with the match first. Drop, I'm going to start with you with this. What did you think of the match itself, the involvement of Rusev, and I guess the way Dom won? And what did you think of the match? What did you think of everything?
So I thought the match was pretty good. I was looking forward to this because I have
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's disappeared, everybody. Oh no.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe Rusev didn't want to hear his thoughts on the match. But
Oh no.
but again, I really did enjoy this match because I enjoyed what Dom and Penta gave us before when it came to their previous matches. So I was really intrigued to see like what Dom was going to do to win this one, because there's always something he does in every match to really find his way out of it, kind of like a little cheat code in order to progress to the next level if he doesn't want to play by the normal rules. Which, if you look at how he goes up against certain people, you could understand why he decides to use that action replay to pretty much progress to the next level, so he doesn't have to worry about all of the hard things that's in his way. And I thought the ending was very creative, the way that he executed everything, because the way that he pulled it off at first, it made it seem like he was going to take both titles with him, bring it into the ring, and just use them as a weapon in order to get the job done. But he actually took one of his titles and used it as a distraction to take the hammer from where the ring bell keeper was. He brought it in there. He got Penta in the face. Or no, he got Penta in the knee to set him up for the 619, his version of it, of course. And then you have him plant that exact same hammer in his boots to actually hit Penta with that across the face.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that part then.
Yeah.
I missed that part.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Okay.
And then
Good
he
on
went
you, Dom.
And then he went for the frog splash to pretty much finish the match there, and he was able to win. So it's kind of making me think. It's like, I understand why he does this and that because it makes sense for his character, and a lot of people online actually applaud the creativity that went through with this, and I have no issues with it at all. I thought it made perfect sense the way everything was played out. I mean, the character that he is now, that's kind of what you need to do in order to progress. I mean, if you're not making heel decisions, you're not really a heel at the end of the day if you're just playing nice the entire time. I mean, look at Seth Rollins, for example. He was so desperate to beat Cody Rhodes, he decided to take that Rolex into the ring and just knock him in the face after he pushed the referee out of the way so they didn't see it, so he's able to get the job done there. So sometimes you just got to take risks, but then you also have to have Rusev and him go at it again, which I just have this strange feeling, because I feel like I know how this is going to get mapped out, where you're going to have that match between him and Rusev, but then you're going to end up having Penta come out, pretty much reminisce of what we saw here, and then you're more than likely going to have a triple threat for the IC title at yeah, that's how I can see it happening. And there's honestly a part of me that I'm kind of 50-50 on it, where it's like Dom can keep the title, but at the same time I kind of want to see other people with that title. But if he wants to have a little bit more, that's fine. I don't care. But I can't lie and say there was a part of me going in tonight that thought Penta was going to win it. I wouldn't say 50-50, maybe a 25% chance I was giving Penta tonight to win this match. But you know, he does have those 2 titles, and sure, it's cool to have one on your own show, but he's also a world champion in another company, so I kind of want to see how he does things over there. Or, you know, since they do own the other company, I mean, nobody ever said they can't defend that said title on their show because they done the other thing in the other shows, and how things are going on with NXT and TNA. I mean, you had Matt Hardy, the Hardys win the NXT championships last week, and then you got Kalani winning the title over there. So it's kind of like if Don were to defend it on a Raw episode, it would really wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I could definitely see how things are being mapped out here, and I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, what's going on with this. But I did enjoy this match, though. It definitely did what I thought it was going to do, and I'm really curious to see what's going to be happening next when it comes to this IC title.
Oh yeah. And Vash, before Rusev comes back and Machka kicks your internet and Discord and all that, what do you think of the match?
I just want to say in my head, I'm like, the Hardys right now are 4 tag titles, but in my head, I'm like, wait a minute. They're House of Glory, NXT, TNA. What's the 4th one? Y'all remember? Because I know they're 4 title tag team holders right now. Or are they 3 only?
I think it's just, I only know 3.
Yeah, because it's House of Glory, TNA, and NXT.
Yeah.
Anyway, when it comes to that, because in my head, I just saw a tweet about it. Yeah. But chat, if they have 3 or 4, please correct me if I'm wrong. If you know them, please write them down in the chat. But when it comes to this match, I do agree with you, Watkins, and drop what you guys mentioned, that Dom is over in Perf, even screaming over and like more than Penta. That was amazing to see. The match was solid. I could tell the difference that Dom is kind of being more Latino heat out here, being more Lyra, China, Steel type of character, like his adopted father is being portrayed as when it comes to this. So I love the execution when it comes to Dominic and his character, the growth that he has been doing. And he's doing this by himself. And if anybody noticed, there's no Judgment Day. There's no Finn. Of course, probably didn't travel all the way to Perth, so probably that's what didn't show up or anything like that. But there wasn't with Dom here tonight, so it just shows that Dom did his thing without the Judgment Day, but still executing his Lyra and Steel, because he did. He grabbed the hammer, he grabbed the belt to use a distraction, which was smart. Then he hit Penta in the left knee, which was smart. Knock him down, put the hammer on the side of his shins when he executed the 619, which was well done with a frog splash, and then hopping back to the ring. To the ring side, which is smart because you go back and ask, yo, can I get my other title? So he grabs it and throws the hammer back. So it's just very smart execution that maybe that's why he left one title there. Like, hey, I'm gonna just use that excuse so I could go back for my title and put the hammer back. So it was smart execution. I like how Dom is being portrayed as the funny gimmick, but also growing as a character as Dominic Mysterio, as he says he's the best Mysterio of all time. He's the best type of luchador of all time. And hey, drop, I have a best number one contender for that AAA title, but we have Dragon Lee. We don't know what's going on with Los Gran Americano group, so we haven't seen them either on this week, obviously, because they're in Perv. We might see them next week. So it's going to be very interesting to know what's going on with these other characters that haven't been seen and how are they going to influence the show in the next coming weeks. Because like you said on the also prediction that all 3 of us might see or agree when it comes to next couple weeks to lead up to Saturday Night Main Event, it's going to be pretty interesting that we actually do get the 3 triple threat.
Yeah, it should be fun and all that. And I think so. I do want to throw this question out, because there was a part of me that, like, when he came out, I'm literally like, I see Rusev running out, and there was a part of me that's just like, Rusev, the hell are you doing? Why are you trying to interfere in this match for God knows what reason, unless like you actually want Dom to beat him up and have a chance to beat him up like AJ Styles likes to beat up John Cena and all that. So it's just like that thought did cross my mind. I'm just like, why are you out here? You gave a threat to both Penta and Dom. I know you haven't seen Dom yet, but it's just like, why are you here? But I was able to kind of rationalize it a little bit, but it's just like, Yeah, why, Rusev? What were you going to accomplish by running out there? What was the game plan, man? Like, what were you thinking?
Yeah, I would have just left it alone, but
Yeah, I would have just chilled in the back, been like, all right, I'll come out there at the end of the
yeah.
match and let my intimidation show. But yeah, just like why?
Yeah, because it's like he already said prior that he already has a match when it
Yeah.
comes to
Next
whoever wins
week,
this.
yeah.
So it's like, well,
Mhm.
what was the point of even going out there? You had your match set in stone. So it's like, what were you trying to accomplish there?
Yeah, I wonder what was the last minute change to the if this was like a story actual reason or this was like a production last minute change from the producer, like,
Mhm.
hey, go out, interrupt this so we can have Dom execute the hammer. Like, was that the reason how Dom probably got it? Like, probably that's the only way for Dom to have got it because the ref got distracted. Maybe that's what happened
Yeah.
because of the variables were needed.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, all I know is that Dom just he needs to shut his mouth. He really
Oh,
needs to shut his mouth
yes, he does.
before like because not only did he kind of get in trouble, but you know, so basically the setup for all this, everybody. So Adam Pearce in the back, he's giving AJ Styles his flowers and all that as he should, because AJ's great and all that. And then Dom comes by, he's being a little prick like he always is, and AJ says like, all right, you know what, fine. He kind of pulls a whole like Wabbit season to him, where he's just like, all right, fine, you know what, your buddies like to really do like to defend their titles, don't you? Don't they? Huh. Interesting how they've held those titles for a few months now since June and only defended it once. That's very interesting, very curious. Hey Adam Pierce, why don't you make it official for them to defend their titles against me and Dragon Lee next week? And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, so AJ Styles and Dragon Lee are a team.
I love
Okay,
I
fine.
love the way Adam and AJ was kind of tag teaming Dom in a
Mhm.
bullying way. The way kind of it gave me of Omni Man telling Mark, "Think, Mark, think." It was more of
Oh
telling
yeah.
them, telling, "Think, Dom, think, think." It
Yeah,
was
it's
just funny just seeing that happen, and I love how Adam was like, "So would you want us to tell Finn and JD that they got a
because you
match
tell them
against
everything.
AJ and Ray?
Dragon Lee.
Would you want sorry, Dragon Lee? Would you want us to tell them, or are you gonna do it?" He's like, no, I tell them.
Yeah.
You know, since I defend my titles all the time, and you know, you just set yourself up since your own group that has been champion for a good maybe 120 days by
Yeah.
now have only defended it twice or once by now.
Yeah, so good on you, Dom. Good mouth on you. Love to see it. Love to hear it and all that stuff. But of course, speaking of tag teams, we had Raquel and Roxanne taking on Bayley and Lyra Valkyria because this has been setting up because Bayley's going crazy, folks. And the Judgment Day need to be the punching bags here. So, I mean, for me at least, when I look at this match, it's your usual tag team affair when it comes to WWE and all that. You got the heels
Yep.
beating down on the faces till you get the hot tag, and then the faces run wild and all that. Then the end of the match happens. Cool, neat, awesome. I think the biggest like one of the main talking points here is how they won because you have Bayley like she's being her babyface self, so she's not really being too aggressive, but one slap from Lyra like wakes up the Karen, if you will, of Bayley, who just runs roughshod on Raquel and Roxanne, basically taking out Judgment Day on her own again. And yeah, able to pick up the win after a flying elbow and a rose plant. 1, 2, 3. They win, but apparently this is only for one time only according to Lyra before the match, but nah, y'all are gonna become a team more, and then Bailey's really gonna go crazy, and then we'll get your feud finally fleshed out even more and all that. Um, yeah, I mean that's really all I gotta say about the match. I mean, great. I mean, y'all have heard my complaints or nitpicks about like some of the acting with it, but I mean, I thought tonight was fine, all things considered, with everything. So yeah, do you guys see them sticking around as a team? Like, do you think Bailey's gonna end up like gaslighting Lyra into staying as a team? Because they were matching tonight. They had matching gear, so already you're set as a team with matching gear. Like,
I
go
can.
I
ahead
think
with it.
I think you should check their social media because their social media.
Oh,
Bayley is saying, "I am Lyra's only friend," and that is hilarious because somebody quote retweeted that, and Tatum Paxley was like, just saying,
excuse me.
excuse me, ma'am, I'm her friend first from NXT. So what you talking about?" So when I hear gaslighting by a question, I'm like, yes, 100%. Bayley in that twisted personality is 100% gaslighting of what's real and what's fake because you don't know. Lyra's having a crisis of which version of the twisted personality do she trust? The crazy one that reacts so crazy
Neither.
and then wins versus 2 versus 1, or the one
Neither.
that kind of loses control and then could fight you in any second. So it's like a flip toss. We don't know if she has a third personality yet. We don't know if you know, if you've seen the movie Split, you know. A big shout out to James McAvoy. He's a great actor.
Oh man, Bailey Sensui over here having multiple personalities. But Jop, you were gonna go ahead and say something about the tag team match.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably have to say the same thing. She probably is being gaslighted right now, which is
Mm-hmm.
probably the only thing you could really go for with whatever's going on with the both of them right now to make things at least, somewhat interesting when it comes to the direction on the on Raw every single week. So I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if they eventually challenge for the tag titles in the near future, or this just builds more into
Agreed.
the relationship, or something
Mhm.
along the lines of that. Like that's basically like how I took this match tonight. That's basically how I took the relationship moving forward, because they're definitely having a lot of posts on social media, like outside
Mhm.
of whatever's going
Yes,
on
they
here,
are.
but it's like showing them on vacation, having their fun in Australia, different places they're visiting, different foods they're trying, and all of that. So,
Yes.
they're trying to make it believable, the best that they
Yeah.
possibly can, and everything. So, I
Would
got.
you? I was gonna say, would you compare this to Charlotte and Alexa on SmackDown to Bayley and Lyra towards the social media outside the grove, them trying to take pictures, trying to upsell the friendship and chemistry outside of the ring, also as inside the ring storyline? Like, would you try to compare the Raw Smack, that type of stuff going on there?
Um, for me, it's a little different than Charlotte and Alexa because like they are kind of two different people, and I mean they do have the social media aspect going. It's not as prevalent as it probably should be, or at least like on TV as well. Like they barely show them together, and when they do, it's like a quick segment in the back, like
Yeah.
nothing of substance at all.
Yeah.
So it's kind of similar, but also kind of not. It's gonna have the same trajectory, I think. Um, yeah, it's just, it, yeah, it's similar, but it's not. But go ahead,
Okay.
Jump. You had a response.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with what you said.
Oh
That's
yeah.
basically how I view it between the both of them.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean they could end up as a team. I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm glad you brought up Tatum Paxley because I'm like, oh man, how funny would it be is if Tatum like got moved up to the main roster and like she kind of formed a group with Bailey and Lyra, and it's basically Lyra trying to take care of the crazies every single week. The shenanigans they can get into.
I just thought about it. We have a Harley Quinn. We almost have a Poison Ivy and a Catwoman. The crazies of Gotham.
Wait, oh wait, who? No, now I need to know who's the Poison Ivy, who's the Catwoman. Because I mean, it can't be Lyra because she's the Bird Lady. She's Black Canary or whatever.
Yes, Black Canary. Does hang out with them at times in
See,
submissions in the
see,
comics run. So yes, I do
I
agree.
don't read comics, but
Scratch the Harley Quinn. I'll switch it to Black Canary.
yeah.
Yes.
Um, that would just be kind of funny. That would just
Yeah.
be a fun time
Yeah.
with
Great
her trying
balance
to
of
wrangling them in.
it kind of works out. It kind of gave me the vision of what you're speaking about. It kind of gave me, for anybody that's seen the show, the Harley Quinn show on HBO Max that watched 4 seasons, it's like them hanging out, the girls hanging out, the craziest of Gotham. So kind of works out in that type of scenario or comparison that Watkins gave in.
Yeah. And then another like turn of events too in the night. I don't know if this was like part of the overseas aspect of it, because when you watch Netflix with like either you're in like let's say Spain and you're watching the Netflix Raw going on, you don't have ads, you have fun little segments in between, whether they're doing the quick little interview or the rest of the match is going on. So I don't know if this was like part of that part, but so Stephanie Vaquer comes out to kind of give her own little celebration of Saturday. Fun fact, I kind of forgot this. It kind of went over my head when it happened. She's won 4 titles in the past like
Yep.
year that she's been part of the company.
So this is the thing that pissed me off during the Tiffany and versus Stephanie, because Wade Barrett and Michael Cole was glazing on fucking Tiffany Stratton, like, oh, Tiffany Stratton had a great year. I'm like, I got some blind motherfuckers. Stephanie had a better year. She literally won the North American title, the NXT title as double champ. She won the world title, and now just became the Crown Jewel title. 4 titles in fucking 8 months. And Tiffany just holds the title of the SmackDown roster since January 3rd, and you call that something of a banger? I'm sorry. When it comes to on paper, a title that's been held for 8 months or 10 months now in January 3rd to now, compared to 8 months of a 2 title double holder, compared to fucking Stephanie to Tiffany, that shit annoyed me during that segment. It was that one, man. I'm like, bro.
Here's the thing. Stephanie, did she beat Charlotte Flair? Did she beat Jade Cargill? Did she beat Nia Jax?
5 times?
No. Then,
20 times?
then she didn't do anything. What's an NXT title to beating Nia Jax? I mean, come on, people. Come on, Vash. Think, Vash. Think. You wanted to pull the whole like Mark thing. Yeah, think, Vash. Think. Oh,
no, it just makes no sense. Like how she come out, said thank you for having my title, guys. I accepted it. I deserve it. I believe in myself because you guys believe in me, and I'll prove it to you guys is why I deserve it and everything. That's great. Yeah. Just knowing that, like, yo, you guys undersell her with Barry and everything. Like Stephanie had the better year on paper, double champ, world title, and crown jewel, all within the next like 8 months is insane. Congrats to her. But then we have come out Raquel and Roxanne for the Judgment Day and say, yo, you didn't get that title. You didn't deserve it. Roxanne beat Io Sky. We deserve that match against you. We deserve it. We can do it better. And one thing, as a big shout out as a Latino out here. I love it that they first spoke in Spanish to get the attention, to get the crowd. So I really love that. I was very happy as a fan.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess Roxanne might be the next contender for Stephanie's world title, which I mean, on paper, yes, please, but yeah, I mean, Stephanie's gonna win that one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
My question is how do you guys feel about these people not going for the IC title, just going for the world title? Like, remember that time when we used to have wrestlers go for the mid card, then once they kind of level off the mid card, they go to the next one, which is the world title. But Roxanne and Raquel hasn't gone back to the IC title since that one time she lost the opportunity back a couple months ago, I believe during the summer or in the end of spring. And Roxanne should be going for the mid-card title or go back for the tag team titles, but now she's going again for the world title, which Roxanne is great. That's why she has a nickname as the Prodigy. That's why she's great at what she is. But just so soon for the world title, I feel like it's too quick. Like, I miss those times when wrestlers that were mid-cards go for the mid-card and then level up and still be where they are. That's something I would enjoy as a fan. How, you guys feel any way or see that little small nugget?
Drop, go ahead and answer that one.
I wouldn't be opposed to that until they get this AJ Lee thing out of the way. That's the only thing that's that's the only thing that's really prolonging it, because if that was already dealt with and said person, honestly, that actually makes a lot of sense now I'm thinking about it, because I felt like they could have done that match between her and Becky right now. She could have won the title, and that's an easy path for Roxanne to walk into. just because that's her idol that inspired her to get into professional wrestling. So
Yeah.
the story pretty much writes itself. So it's like, I'm not really sure what they're doing, because it's like they had Becky on television a couple times. Yes, she's going to be there next week. We'll talk about that in our quick fire segments when it comes to a match that she has. But it just seems like she is in a little side quest right now. Like, it's just kind of weird, because it's like Punk's in the spot where he needs to be with the person he had issues with. You would expect the exact same thing to happen, but it's almost like that pin didn't mean shit. And she didn't really take any offense to it, and she got over it or something. I don't know, but I mean, I felt like if we had that dealt with, we could have gotten that probably would have been really good for her. But there's also a part of me thinking, because they like to prolong things sometimes, that maybe they want to save that for WrestleMania for Roxanne. But
that could also be a thing too. And I mean, we can mention it right now too. I mean, because Vash, you actually had, you made the comment, oh, this is something that I would see people to kind of start to kind of level up, like go for the mid-card title to, boost yourself up a little bit. It's kind of what they're doing with Maxine a little bit right now, because we do get another segment here where it's like, oh, like, first of all, Australia loves themselves some Maxine Dupree, so
they
great
do.
on you. Yeah, oh my gosh, she was over there. But we find out through this, interview segment between the matches and all that she's going to be facing off against Becky Lynch next week for the IC title. They're both 1-1 on each other, which is an interesting stat to have, to say the least. I mean, I don't see Becky really dropping the title there, but I think that's just kind of like these are just two stopgaps for both Becky and Stephanie in their title reigns, because it's like, okay, we can have Roxanne go for the world title, fine, whatever. That's just a quick, easy feud for Stephanie to do, and plus, like, that could lead to Stephanie Vaquer taking on Raquel Rodriguez then in the long term for that part. So, like, this is just like the little side quest that Stephanie Vaquer has to go on until somebody of more significance takes her on. Yeah, exactly. But kind of the same with like Becky Lynch here, where like her stopgap right now is this stuff with Maxine Dupree, and I'm assuming that this is gonna go straight towards that AJ Lee match, because like AJ Lee's in Becky's head, and so Becky's gonna go into next week's match. She's gonna like want to just teach Maxine a lesson, but it can also slip her up a little bit. So like, I mean, again, I don't see her dropping the title, but we'll probably have like some of those Seth Rollins crash out moments through Becky Lynch next week, which I'm kind of looking forward to. I think it's going to be a good little bit of storytelling there. But yeah, so like the Judgment Day, they're putting their hands all over everything, whether they're on the men's side, the women's side, the tag team side, the world title side. They are making their names known in a lot of places.
When it comes to the Maxine thing, I'm very happy for her. I love how over she was by the crowd. The crowd loved her. And when she announced it, like, hey, I have a 1-on-1 with Becky Lynch. Now next week I'm going to 1-on-1 with her and my hometown. And also, if you guys know what I just said, hometown. Usually by the track records of WWE, usually the people that are at the hometown, they usually lose at their own hometown. So most likely Maxine is losing. Usually they don't win until the second time they're back in town of their own. So Maxine most likely losing. If she wins, shit, I'm going to be throwing a parade. I'm going to be throwing a clip or something, because if she wins, bro, I've been proud of her. I've been rooting for her. I want to see growth. I want to see improvement. Sucks that there's no type of live shows that they could do to test stuff, improve stuff. Main event is so infrequently now and everything. So it just sucks that they don't get to put practice unless they go to their own training like they do with Natalia and everything else. We haven't seen Natalia either in a while, so who knows if that's going to be a factor as well. Is she going to be in her kernel? We have only seen our boy Tozawa. So, the best of luck to Maxine Dupree for next week, and I'm excited for her nonetheless. I hope you win, girl.
Huh. Yeah, we'll have a different conversation if she wins. Let's table that idea if that were to happen next week. We'll put a nice little pin on it. We'll take that idea, put it on the metaphorical like refrigerator right there for the week. Good job. You got a gold star. But speaking of gold stars, Rhea Ripley, good old mommy, was here for the Monday Night Raw in her own country, mind you, and she was taking on Kairi Sane. How this match get made? Well, if you watched Saturday night during Crown Jewel, you would know that the faces won that match, and they pinned Kairi Sane. So Kairi was the reason that the Kabuki Warriors lost. And if you understand that logic, hey, your name must be Asuka, because that's basically why Asuka thought that, because she is pissed when she comes in earlier in the day, and she does tell Kairi saying, hey, you're gonna have to face Rhea now because of this, like this is the consequences of us losing like we did. So yeah, go ahead and face Rhea, get some revenge for us, and yeah, we'll be good to go when that happens. Kairi shows off the nice little bruise she has from Rhea, and they don't really have an argument, but Kairi is trying to like talk some sense into Asuka to not make the match happen. And Asuka slaps the crap out of a Kairi. Like, I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, you are a horrible person. Like, you're actually getting legit heel heat in 2025. What is this? Who are you? Like, you're not the Asuka I know and adore as a star and all that. Like, this is crazy stuff. All right, fine. And I mean, when you get to the match with Rhea and Kairi, it's exactly what you expect. But I will say this, and Wade Barrett on commentary made a point to point this out. Kairi has been a little more aggressive in the ring, and if anything, I forgot if I was listening to somebody review this or if it was commentary. So forgive me for this, chat. But Kairi, in a way, kind of looks a little more confident in the ring. Like, she's actually like going through with her moves, and it's like there's not a bit of her that I feel like is holding back a little bit, because I think there may have been like a little bit of a confidence issue. I don't know where that would have come from, but you know, we're all human, so it all happens and all that. But yeah, I thought the match was itself really good between Rhea and Kyrie, and of course, as always, Rhea Ripley's going to win because I don't see Kairi Sane being this current Rhea Ripley right now. And Asuka attacks both Io and Rhea. And Rhea does try to stand tall, but of course, Kairi is helping Asuka. She is the poor little pawn in Asuka's little schemes in life. And yeah, the Kabuki stand tall, and we're going to continue this feud. Fine, I'm cool with that. I was hoping we would continue this, especially with Asuka's character in the way that it's evolving and all that. But drop kind of continuing on with our conversation from Saturday, because I was a little iffy with like the Kabukis losing and where they can really turn everything, but I know I'm a fan at least of how they're turning this story going forward with them losing and Kairi's fault and all that, and Asuka just being more of a hard ass when it comes to being that mentor figure. But drop, talk to me. How'd you feel about the match, the story going forward with the Kabukis against Io and Rhea? How'd you feel about everything?
But I thought this match was very good. This is probably the best that Kairi Sane has looked in a very, very long time, because they don't normally utilize her that much. She's normally in there for a good 5 to 6 to 7 minutes or so. This match itself went to almost around 16 minutes, so they actually gave the girls some time to tangle. They were actually able to have a proper match, showcase their strengths, what they're capable of, because Kairi's actually a really good wrestler. And if you've seen what she's done in Stardom and other things that she's done before she entered the world of WWE, she always puts on great matches against whatever opponent she goes up against. So seeing how she was able to showcase that talent tonight against one of their biggest stars with Rhea Ripley, that made me very happy, because that was one of the things I was talking about on Saturday, where I'm like, I'm really hoping that they do something more with Kairi Sane, because I feel like they really need to start pushing her more. You don't keep pushing just Io and Asuka all the time. Like actually give Kairi like some brownie points too, where she can actually go out there and do something that's very memorable. And that's another name you can fit into the big hat when it comes to potential people going up against that IC title in the near future and actually have a chance of winning it, because I can definitely see her being an IC champion on Monday Night Raw one day for sure, whenever that opportunity comes for her in the future. And it was also said that this was actually her longest singles match in WWE. I saw that stat
Oh,
today
really?
online too. So even with that in mind, like it definitely does feel to me, especially with her OG theme song coming back, it definitely feels like
Hmm.
there is things in motion to do things with her, because you don't just get your theme song back just out of the blue, because they mainly do that for specific people that want to have that good image on them. So they obviously brought that back for a reason, because there is plans in store for her. And we can clearly see that just given on what's currently going on of her and Asuka, because we know in the near future she's going to snap on Asuka. And I feel like that's probably their way of getting her over. Because I'm sorry, as much as she is a heel of Asuka and everything right now, which makes sense because of the position that she's a natural babyface. Just how she acts and just how she likes interacting with the audience that I've seen in different clips and stuff. She always loves going up to people and shaking their hand and giving them hugs and everything. She's just a natural babyface to me. And I feel like
Mhm.
this could be Triple H, doing little things of Asuka to really get under our skin, where we feel that sympathy for her, which I do feel it whenever she gets slapped. So whenever the time comes where she slaps Asuka back, because we know that's eventually going to happen, she's going to get that big reaction from the crowd. A lot of people are going to get behind her, cheer her on, everything like that. She's going to be getting those chants that EO gets, where it's like EO Sky, Kairi Sane. Like, she's eventually going to get there when the time comes. So I just want to applaud her for giving her the opportunity to showcase who she truly is, because we know who Rhea Ripley is. She's already made an impact in the division. She is one of their biggest stars. I'm really glad she was able to share the ring with EO, and kind of look at it where it's like, you got this smaller girl against this bigger girl, and sometimes it really works out that way, but she really was able to showcase what she was able to do. Like, she had a really nasty spot in a good way when it comes to that insane elbow outside of the ring that she landed on EO to take her out, and everything else that she was trying to do. Like, she was being very she was moving around quite a bit. Like, she was really analyzing Rhea's moves when she was trying to put her into something. She kept countering and countering and countering because she knew what was coming, and it made her look really tough, which is another
Yeah.
thing that you need to do. You need to make sure the opponent is believable, and that's what they did here. So this match itself, I really liked it. Rhea did good.
Hmm.
Kairi Sane was able to show who she was. The story continues between the Kabuki Warriors and EO and Asuka and EO and Rhea. Obviously, things aren't over, because we did see what happened towards the end, where Asuka ended up taking out Rhea, did a DDT on the table, and then Kairi, ends up hitting Rhea with the kendo stick as well. So we do know that things are continuing. I have no issues with it. I'm just super happy that these ladies were giving a good amount of time, 16 minutes. That's really good, especially with somebody like Kairi Sane involved to showcase their strength and stuff. So I was very happy with how this was structured, and it just makes me happy that they're paying attention and they're listening to people online that want to see more from these people, because there's a lot of people
Yep.
in that company, like a Dolph Ziggler that used to be there, that was a great wrestler, but he never really had that opportunity to really reach that main event status that a lot of people saw him to be.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that Kairi was just able to be like, hey, outside of Io and Asuka, I'm also a really good wrestler too. So I'm glad she was able
Yep.
to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, if you just listened to the pop that happened when Asuka had slapped Kyrie, like that should tell you just alone, okay, yeah, they want to push Kyrie. Like, I think that's just the ending of this saga or this storyline going forward, is making Kyrie Sane a top competitor and really getting her over with the crowd. Because again, like, I don't know about you guys, I heard that pop, I'm like, oh, yep, there it is. There's the story right there. Can Kyrie Sane basically overcome the literal demon of Asuka right now. Uh, but Vash, any thoughts on this Rhea Ripley Kairi Sane match and this whole story with Io and Asuka, and like, because we also need their singles match too for Io to actually cleanse her demon as well in Asuka. So what do you think of everything?
This match was very solid. I love the story. I believe I said it in the Raw thread of our Discord community. I said that I love how Rhea, Asuka, and Io and Kairi are becoming a factor into
Mhm.
what's their storyline, but also pushing Kairi to become its own character and be a top star where she could sit on the same throne, same level as Asuka and Io as they've been over the past couple of years. And I
Mhm.
love how they're doing this without a damn title. The IC title is locked with Becky and AJ Lee for the past couple of weeks. The World title is now in Stephanie's hands and moving forward.
Mhm.
Rhea hasn't said, I need to get back my title. You have to say, I have numbers over you. You're never pinning me. No, we're just getting hugs. We're getting we're
Mhm.
getting all of the shabam, and I love it. Like, it's been good, entertaining me. I didn't expect the slap of Asuka to Kairi. I didn't expect that. The way she went, pa! And Kairi was like, you bitch, you actually slapped me?
Yeah.
Like, the acting has been portrayed well. Also, I feel like the acting has been better than a couple of weeks ago, where I believe
It
you and me
has
were
been
kind of
better.
I believe
Yeah.
you and me were kind of like, it was kind of cringy,
Yeah.
but it was kind of not bad acting. It was kind of like a bit
Yeah.
off-putting, like awkwardly. But just to see how things have progressed, I'm very happy with the execution, how things been going so far. Like we've been saying for the past couple of weeks, that hey, WrestlePalooza was a wake-up call for the writers team, for Triple H and
Mhm.
others, where they've been stepping up the game to their execution of what they want to do. So I'm very happy as a fan and seeing what's going on. You guys already said what it was towards this match. I love the table stuff that happened at the end.
Yep.
I love how Io and Rhea are the best kind of like the best friends in the ring, where they love each other but also take care of each other and like support one another without getting each other way. I saw somebody on the timeline saying, watch Io betray Rhea. I'm like, if that's gonna happen, that's gonna be like next year planned. I don't see that happening within the next 8 weeks of the year left. That
Yeah.
it's just like Io betraying Rhea or Rhea betraying Io. Is like they've been working so hard to help each other as family. I don't see
Mhm.
themselves hurting each other.
If they did, it would be because of the world title and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it'll be like regular type of rivals, not like, hey, we're
Yeah,
gonna fight each other
exactly.
just because we're gonna fight each other. No, it's just regular rivalries that, hey, we're best
Mhm.
friends, but once one of us has a title, I'm gonna take that shit off your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, kind of going back on like how, me and you had that discussion about the acting and all that. I literally just kind of put two and two together. They were literally doing live action anime when it comes to
Well, you
like
got
the over emoting, remember?
yeah.
I'm just like, "Oh, wait a minute. They're just doing live action anime right now." Okay, it all makes sense. Now I can compartmentalize that and rationalize that and be like, "All right, you know what? There you go. Good. I get it. I got you. I got you right there." But with that, hopefully you guys got that because we are at the end of our show. Don't have to worry about any other quick fire segments because hey, mentioned the Maxine Dupree thing earlier, so
We
we're all
sprinkled
good to
in.
go there. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, that's the great part about the quick fire segments. They can always just be sprinkled in throughout the conversation of the evening. But speaking of the evening, again, final thoughts here. I thought this was a really good Raw. I do really like these overseas shows because it gives them a chance to not only perform for a much different crowd than they do in the US, but usually those shows are really good. And tonight was no different. I mean, we had one, two, three, four. We had five matches tonight, which were all really good. They served their purpose. They progressed storylines and gave us a lot of questions that we need answers to, mainly pertaining to the vision. Like, where did they go from here other than going after the title that Seth currently holds? How does CM Punk fit into all of this stuff? I mean, I can already see him say, hey, you trusted Paul Heyman, you're an idiot. Like, why trust that man? Why team up with that man? But whatever, he can bring joy and wonder to you if you're a main
I
eventer
don't
and all
know.
that.
I don't know why I just remember. I believe wasn't it CM Punk that called Paul Heyman a Warriors at one point?
I mean, many people have, myself included, when I've been with
Yeah.
friends. So
Yeah,
whatever.
in my head, I was just laughing that I bet you next week, I bet you CM Punk somebody's gonna call him a Warriors or something. The one thing I want to say,
Yeah.
my final thoughts about this match of
Mhm.
Raw or the event itself as well, that Drop said that this was Kairi longest match, which is kind of threw me off because I'm starting at the statistic. This was almost exactly of a 16-minute match, so this was a 15 and 59 second to the dot match, and for me to kind of realize that this was her longest match, which now has me intrigued to know what was the shortest, or like has it always been short. But I do agree with I believe it was Drop that said it, that this is the most confident that she's ever been. So I do agree,
Mm.
because I remember people coming at her last week where she threw Io to the ringside and Io hit her
Oh,
head on
yeah.
the side of the ring. People saying, "Oh, Kairi is a bad opponent," blah blah blah, and I'm like, have you seen the New Japan type of matches, how they hit and aggressive and how strong style they are? Have you seen boy Nakamura? By the way, big shout to Nakamura. I wasn't here Friday. Glad to see him here. Glad to see him for that US title match, and they travel him all the way to Perth for that. So very happy for that.
And he surfed some waves while he was there. So
Yes, he did. I love that. Can't wait to see the Dominic stuff with Rusev or what's gonna happen next week. And can't wait to see Finn, JD finally defend the title after 100+ days. Oh my god, I can't wait for Finn to be like, Dom, such a smart idea. Thank you for getting us a match. We've been looking for one, and you gave us AJ Styles, one of my best guys, the leader of the Bullet Club, like Alicia Taylor said. So I can't wait to see if that comment is also going to be brought up as well. I would love it.
oh my god, I agree. I agree full-heartedly. But Drop, what were your final thoughts on this Monday Night Raw that took place in the great country of Australia?
So I thought this was a really good episode of Monday Night Raw. Like I said earlier, I really appreciated what they're doing with the Vision right now. It gets me really intrigued to see what's in motion. It's really unpredictable heading into the Survivor Series PLE. And I basically gave a good response to a lot of the things that we talked about here on the show. So I don't really want to repeat too much, but it definitely does feel like that they're on the right track with this show, and I'm really hoping they keep the momentum going.
Yeah, I hope so too. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ignorant children of the Isles, as much as I love doing two-man
I do it.
shows, I love, as much as we do these two-man shows, whenever we do them, when it's like me and Drop
I
or
do.
me and Vash, or sometimes Drop and Vash, it's great, it's great. But I do love when the whole team's here, especially when Vash is here, because
Because you have to do the socials.
damn, does plug-in things really suck? I hate. So,
I have to listen.
Vash.
I have to
now
listen
that
how
you're
you did
back,
Fridays and Saturdays. I have to listen to see
I don't
how you
remember.
did it.
I don't. Again, my
I have to
memory
check it
Swiss
out.
cheese. Like,
I forgot who said it to me this past weekend. I believe it was my
Oh,
wife or
no.
somebody. They said,
no.
"Yo, you do great outros for the plugs." And I was laughing because I'm like, what's funny, chat? I never write it down. I always go off the dome and it's just hit by the numbers and hit it. But like it is, chat, like you see down below, is our socials, Legendary Vash. Ask yourself, as your host, you will see pictures right now posted on my IG story and post on the TikTok. I posted my first TikTok on post on my personal.
you go.
I'm like, fuck it, why not? We be posting more AniMa Studio posts, but tomorrow morning, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day involving your Comic Con, so the post won't be stomping. And since it's still con week, I'm gonna be posting some Anime NYC stuff that I didn't post 2 months ago. So that's gonna be sneaking in down there as well. So stay tuned for that. I've been slacking on, but hey, go check out social. Like I said during the show, our Discord is down below. For check out the link of where to join us. Talk to us. Don't forget, if you watched the stream, if you were entertained by us, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike the stream, we could know why you didn't like it. Maybe comment below why you hate us. Maybe we don't have a bald white guy like an off the bench, but maybe you could tell us if you like something that we do here or not. Go check out the content off the bench, like I did mention as well. Go check out Animated Lately podcast, like Watkins plug in the beginning of the show, episode 197, where we talk about New York Comic Con. If we have a bit of time, the last 30 minutes of the show, we'll be talking about a bit of horror as well included. And as well, chat, we appreciate the twitch.tv/AniMa Studio, where we'll be streaming tomorrow in the evening for our podcast episode. And then you'll be having the YouTube version VOD on the next day. To go check out the AniMa Studio VOD channel. You'll be getting 2 streams maybe this week. Stay tuned. Maybe some anime, maybe some High School of the Dead. Who knows? So stay tuned. Many more content is coming up this month. Some social media content as well. Some vlogs of those on the socials. Go check them out. We appreciate for everyone checking in. Like, comment, subscribe, and press that bell notification if you want more content. Let's go for the yeet and the yeah.
Yeet and yeah your way right into the comment section, right onto that nice little subscribe button, all those lovely links that Vash told you about in the description down below. But we're going to take time now to thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. If you enjoy what we had to say, again, why not do exactly what Vash just said? We are known as Weebs of the Ring on all social media platforms. So yeah, be sure to follow us there. Also, be sure to use that wonderful hashtag of Weebs of the Ring to interact with us about anything regarding wrestling before, during, or after our shows. And it's a great way to give us some feedback because, hey, we're nothing without you guys tuning in, and we're going to continue to level up our game from the lower mid card to the upper mid card to that main event picture of professional wrestling. So, again, give us our feedback, and we will continue to do our best. Weebs of the Ring is presented by AniMa W3 Studio. Thanks to our production team for all of their hard work. Thank you once again for joining us. And remember, no strength greens were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you guys on Thursday for Grappling with the Week.
See you guys.
Latino Heat.